Hi, it's Beau here again, and I'm going to talk about an app that means a lot to me that I would love to share with you all. So if you were ever paying close attention to my other videos, a lot of times I would just spout out information without giving references, but I truly believe that everything you believe should be supported by a reference. I don't have a reference to support that idea in general, so I guess not everything can be, because there also are some things, like I mentioned before, we can't use the Bible to define every choice we make in life, like if I should have cereal or toast. Because just like the big ones, the life-changing ones. But I use this Bible. This is, I think, like the only actual Bible I have. I've gone through so many Bibles. That I just really like this one. It was a gift. I've had it for a while. It has a lot of memories, a lot of different kind of highlights in it, but I also prefer not to highlight in an actual Bible, just because I think it makes it harder to read. Something may stand out to you one time, but then something else stands out the other time. So by the end of the time you're done with your Bible, you're literally going to have everything highlighted. So I can tell you my alternative to that. I have multiple alternatives, and I'm actually going to talk about one in this video, which is the whole purpose of this. So I often will have my phone with me as well, as you probably have noticed, and I use an app which I love. It's so helpful. It's called YouVersion. You can kind of see the reflection there. But it is a free Bible app that you can use offline if you download it online beforehand. So you just have to have, most people do, in order for you to download the app, you need internet access. So you need internet access to choose your version. Pulling up the versions, there's ESV, NLT, NIV, KJV, CSB, which is Christian Standard Bible. I didn't know that, but you CSB fans who use it all the time are like, why did you have to clarify that? So, pretty much the rest of these I don't know much about. Some of them I've heard before. Amplified Version and Amplified Bible Classic, they have, and so I think those are more like summaries. Correct me if I'm wrong. American Standard, they have one titled Books of the Bible, New Testament, so I don't know what all of these are. So, but they just have so many that are available for download. CEB, CEV, they're all in alphabetical order, and there's literally so many. Like, your favorite is probably on there, but like I mentioned, I have 5. KJV is what's naturally downloaded, and I think you're able to undownload things. Doesn't really take up much space at all, which is one of the reasons that I love it as well. I used to have a Bible app like this that I paid for, and it worked. I'm not a big fan of paying for apps, but I mean, it's worth it for a Bible. But what I also like about this is what they call plans. It's like devotionals, and so you're able to save ones that you haven't worked on yet. So like I have a list of plans that I'm planning to get to that I haven't yet. It's a pretty short list because I've completed most of the ones I want to, and it tells you how many days each one is ahead of time. It shows you what plans you're already working on. It also shows you which ones you've completed. So it's a Bible app. It has devotionals in it, and a new update is prayer request, which I can understand why you'd find it important if it's just you, but you also can have friends, and so you can like share your prayer request with your friends, and I think that's really helpful because you can be there with your friends to encourage one another, to pray for each other. You can do a plan with your friends. I don't know if I can say it enough. I love this app. If you can't remember a specific reference to a verse, sure, you can Google it, but it also has a search in the app. I also like this. I mean, a lot of these aren't necessary, but they're kind of nice extra features. For example, on the home page, they give you a daily devotional, which isn't part of a plan, just like sometimes it is part of a plan. just a devotional in general, and a verse of the day. And so then it would give you like a prayer request that would often go with this. Like if the lesson is on how to become stronger in your faith, maybe your prayer would be, please pray that I can become stronger in my faith, or something like that. I don't often use it because I have my own plans I'm working on, but they call it a story. If you use Instagram, it's kind of like that. They have famous people, like certain artists or pastors that you may be familiar with, that will give you that like 5-minute devotional, and then there will be something else you can read. So if you prefer a video, they have that as well, which is really helpful. But like what I was getting at is they have like pictures that go with an image. So if you're looking at 1 Thessalonians 5:15, they have different images that you can save. So like if you want to make it a profile picture, or if you wanted to post it on another social media form, which I do every once in a while. I wish I did it more than I do, but I don't do it just for show. I do it especially if a verse stands out to me that I just love to share with other people. But you can also make your own. If it doesn't have one, they have a selection of backgrounds that you can put with whatever verse stands out to you. See, I just cannot stop talking about this. So I was in Acts 19. Here we go. Highlighting. I feel free to highlight every single verse in my YouVersion Bible if I want to, because I can always unhighlight, which in real life, you can't really do that with a highlighter. You can also change the colors of highlights, which, again, in real life, on a normal Bible, in-person Bible, it's kind of hard to change the colors because it doesn't overlap colors, it like completely changes them, and I think there's unlimited color choices, like it has a color spectrum, so you can literally choose like whatever color. If I color code things, so just in general, if I'm highlighting something, it's going to be in yellow. I do light yellow for verses I either want to memorize or already have memorized. And then recently I started using green, which is often the color associated with envy or jealousy, anything like that. With certain verses that people may take out of context because it's like the people were grumbling and complaining and they said this, but they were wrong, and God ended up correcting them later on. So it's just like, this is how us humans failed, this was a lie. It's often associated with lies. So like in Genesis, whenever the serpent was tempting Adam and Eve, and it's like, oh, you'll be just like God, highlighted in green. But obviously, like, you can change your color scheme whenever you want to. So I just clicked on the verse. Sadly, you can only highlight each verse. You can't highlight each word, which slightly bothers me, but not too much. But then they have multiple options. Share, so to literally just copy the verse so you can share it with someone else. Image was what I was talking about. They have a list of different backgrounds for you to make a verse image out of. So you could click image, or you could literally just click one of the images down below. Compare, which I really appreciate. I'm using ESV, that's my natural, because that's what my actual Bible is. But you can compare how it's read in all the different versions without like having to flip or like look at a bunch of Bibles. It's seriously just all there at once. And again, it seems to only show me like the top 6 of my favorite choices, but you can always add more versions if you want to, like clicking the green plus button. And I could go into a like full tutorial about how all these things work. You can make notes, which I appreciate. So then, there's nothing wrong with taking notes. I'm just not the neatest handwriter, and I don't think it means as much if I make it all neat and fancy and doodle and stuff. I don't feel like I'm getting the message across. I feel like literally just writing what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, just making notes in general is good enough. And what also is kind of nice about notes, so it shows you the verse. So like if you are trying to take notes while your pastor is teaching, again, you don't have to flip between apps or like flip between your Bible and your notebook. You can literally add verses, so you can have all your verses there in a list and then make your note. And you can make your note public, which means anyone can see it. Friends only, which I mentioned if you make friends, which has to be mutual. So you can send a friend request and they have to accept before you're actually friends. Private means only you can see it, so even your friends can't see it, which is nice. Like if you just, because you don't have to have a verse that goes with your note, they have that feature as well. You can just go to more. So many features on this thing. You can go to more, just go to notes, and then press the pencil button, which just makes a new note, and there's no verses attached to it, and you can just like write out your thoughts or maybe your private prayers that you don't want to share with anyone. Just like I sometimes do that where I'm talking to the Lord, but I just want to write down my thoughts. I just want to write down my prayer. It's totally cool to do that. But notes is probably my favorite feature because I'm a person that loves to take notes. There's just everything in this. I cannot. This is a long video for me, and I don't think I can talk about everything I love about this. You can bookmark it, which I'm not a huge fan of because I only need one bookmark. I don't bookmark a bunch of things. To me, highlighting is enough. But some people bookmark, like, and that works. I think that's all the features I'm going to talk about in this video. If you'd love to hear more, I'd love to share more, and I would love for you to check it out yourself. Like I said, it's free, really easy to download, and there's just so much on it. I feel like it has really helped me. So I would highly encourage that you get this. And that's all for today. Bye.